What up, y'all? It's your boy Ben here, and welcome on back to another Pokemon Pocket video for you all. Today we're taking a look at early data so that way we can have an insight onto what this meta could shape out to be. With a couple of tournaments have already been done and locked in, we do get some eyes on some fresh new cooks for you all that you can take onto your climb in rank to make your life that much easier. Just a little disclaimer for this video, we're gonna go over just the new decks that are popping out in Shining Reverie, so things like Dialga, Arceus, and Articuno, 18 Trainer, things that we've already seen and have already covered. We won't go into too much, so that way you can dive into your new collection and just kind of see how things are popping out from there. As always, y'all, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button. Definitely click that notification bell button if you're feeling the content. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers, and with your help, we can make that happen before June. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into it, just so that way you are all aware. Pocket Tour tournament here is just kind of like one of the tournaments that occurred here and finished out. Also, new pack faster than the light tournament also as well. So just getting some good data here, like Giratina EX, Darkrai EX, which we're going to cover in just a second, has already like 5% win share here, but like 64% win rate here, which is awesome. On this other side, 9% win share, 55%. Looking into things, Giratina EX Magnezone, 68 win percent. And so we're gonna see the decks, get them cooking up for you all and go from there. So back to our first deck here, which won the first tournament of the new set, is our Darkrai Giratina build. So this is really cool to like play around with here. The idea is that you have your wall, and while you have your wall, you're able to chip away with Darkrai EX because of Nightmare Aura. Every single time that you put a Dark Energy, you're dealing 20 to the active spot, and then you are using Giratina EX on this side and slowly building up your psychic energy using Broken Space Bellow. The piece about this deck here is that you're using this as like a stall version of Giratina. Giratina really shines in decks in which that you're okay with not attacking on like that first couple of turns. And then on the flip side, you also have Giratina, who does really well when it's like used as a way as a battery, right? But for this deck, it's really great to see it stand out here. It does get to shine a lot, being able to hit for that 130, or you get to go in with a Darkrai EX and attack for that 100 damage here. They're really making use of the red here for plus 20 damage towards your opponent's Pokemon EX, and then the Team Rocket Grunt. I'm like really starting to like the card a lot more. Just one heads can disrupt what the opponent is trying to build up towards. Getting this Team Rocket Grunt earlier on a Dialga puts them back a turn before they can start ramping, which allows you to get yourself back into business here. You get it on the higher end, and their version of Darkrai's or their Giratinas, all that energy that they've been building is now going away. So there's a lot of flexibility here with this style of deck, and it kind of just hits hard, and they still have to kind of get through the Shedudron, so you're still chipping away, dealing enough chip damage and getting to those breakpoints where 130 or 150 with red or 100 here with Darkrai will still do a lot of damage. And one more thing to note here, this deck is only playing dark energy, so as you're literally using it just to make sure that your Darkrai EX is consistent in using your Nightmare Aura, and you're using the ability here for Giratina EX to be able to use that Broken Space Bellow to generate the psychic energy. Up next, we have the Giratina EX Magnezone deck, which is also a little flavorful here. The beautiful part about this is that you're getting your Giratina EX online faster, and then following up with your Magnezone as another means of a way to attack. Now, this piece here is like where we saw like the Darkrai though, but you need 6 pieces. However, this is just a 1 point instead of losing 2 points if your Darkrai were to get knocked out. There's a lot of flexibility here because your Volt Charge is just building up on its own, and as we've seen as in previous metas, Magnezone works really great in decks that are not electric decks, right? So pairing this up with Giratina, you can run only Psychic in this deck, and therefore this Broken Space Pillow, you're ready to go in just kind of like 2 turns. And you're ready to attack for 130. You're Volt Charging here, you're able to attack for 110. You run with Leaf, being able to swap things around and attacking for either that 110 or that 130. Red helping you boost up here to 130 and 150. And then the Rocky Helmet, again, attaching that to Trudgeon, where your opponent can lose 40 damage per turn. Definitely make sure that you're in a great spot when it comes to attacking with these 2 mons. Here is another version of the list where this is all in on like red, Rocky Helms. We have kind of like a, sorry about that. We kind of have like a split here where Iona is searching for cards, so that way you can get to your stage 2 a little bit quicker here. Sabrina and Cyrus and as well, so that way folks who try to run after getting hit with Trudgeon can come right back up to the front of the classroom. So this is playing more into different types of supporters. This one is just saying, hey, we're just going to really just take out what's in front of us, because that is just really all we need to do, and we like the amount of power that we have here. So 2 different ways to play the deck in terms of like what you're using to support these mons, but these mons are the ratio that you want. Up next we have Garchomp EX with Lucario EX making waves here, and it's just that simple. You're running just fighting energy for this deck, and you're looking to build up to your lines here. In particular, you're just going straight up, so that way you have your Lucario or your Garchomp EX really lining in on what you have in your hand to know which one that you're putting your energy towards building up here. Both are kind of flexible in terms of being able to attack the active spot, but also being able to attack the bench here in different ways. Garchomp doing 50 as an attack of its own, and then doing 100 damage separately, whereas Lucario does 100 and does 30 while it does 100 at the same time. Because you're attacking your opponent's bench with either of these 2 mons here, you can definitely use Cyrus and Sabrina to like bring things back up. What I do like about this combination is that you could always use your Garchomp EX as like your mon that's softening things up for your Lucario, and so like once your Lucario's online, then you can start building up your Garchomp. It retreats just for 1, so it's kind of easy to move around here into pieces. And so this deck is just really just all gas. Build up your big boss monster, put your energy on there, and just start punching things. And like fighting is probably just kind of straightforward in that sense. Build up big, hit hard, and keep it moving. We're starting to see again just already here, and I wonder, like, do we ever like split Red and Giovanni? I feel like there are certain times where, you know, your opponents have the Judgeons, or your opponents have these basics that are like 60 that you can just hit and reach out to if you have just that extra plus 10 from Geo. But we are seeing that like these top decks that are playing right now are still finishing off with these strong EXs, and so Red is definitely having a good spot and a good run here, and you're getting a lot of value from that. Up next is the new Charizard, and what we're seeing is that there is a split here. So in this tournament, we're seeing Charizard and Moltres being a run here. You're just doing fire. However, the Charizard EX has definitely gotten a boost with the new Charmander and Charmeleon, being able to curve out evenly into the genetic Apex Charizard EX, because you go 1, 2, and then 3 energy. So in those games where you don't start off with your Moltres, you don't feel as bad because you're able to still curve out pretty well. In the games where you do start off with your Moltres, you can then continue to ramp up either into this EX and build up to that Crimson Storm, or you can just start stoking right away so that you can hit that 150. Having both in here gives you flexibility to see where your opponent is, what HPs are they dealing with, so that way you know which one to build towards. And if you have a Moltres up front, you can also like build up 2 of them, right? Like that's the whole purpose of here. Like it's really just all in 2 Moltres, 2 Charmanders, and you're just building them up. So that gives you an opportunity to do so. Because of the high damage that they have here, you're not really looking to add any additional, so no reds included in this one. But we also are seeing our Sabrinas, our Giovanni again, just reaching to just deal a little bit more. You don't need the full 20 because you're hitting for 150 or hitting for 200 is still enough. So just getting yourself over the edge with that. 160 is really a good breakpoint for getting yourself over the top. I do like, again, the addition of Team Rocket Grunt in a deck like this, where losing your energy is tough. And so being able to make sure that, like, hey, if I lose mine, I can make sure that you lose yours is also a good spot. But again, like we talked about before, stopping and disrupting what your opponent is trying to build up on, having them lose that momentum per turn that they were dealing with is very, very good. And then the last deck we're going to cover here is just kind of like an EX like metagamer here. Meowscarada is probably really going to curve out into like its own kind of build here. It's a stage 2 for 2 grass energy. You're dealing 60 damage, but if you're going up against an EX Pokemon, you're dealing 70 more. So that's 130 damage for 2 grass energy. And as you've seen just from the last deck that we just covered in this new meta, you're dealing with a lot of EX Pokemon, so Meowscarada is really positioned well here. Cyclizar is such a great new addition into this basic line, and also, side note, if you're collecting 50 cards, you get a shiny version of this card, so just make sure that you're opening up your packs. But this does 20 damage for its first turn, and then 40 damage moving forward from there. If your opponent hits you with an early Sabrina just to kind of mess you up, then that can happen, but overall, you're typically dealing 40 damage moving forward from there. There is one Iona to try to make sure that you're getting your lines correct. Here, your Sabrina, your Cyrus, Erica, your Red. There's a lot of one-ofs here in terms of your cards because you can just hold them into your hand. Wait till you get like 5, like there's no magic number, but you want to wait for a good bit to like have more cards in your hands, so that way your Iono hits more cards, and then you get your flex for all of these. Part of me wonders if I ever want to run just 2 Ericas, because we definitely love a healthy Meowscarada, but even adding a giant KP, making this 160 health, is still a big deal here. So that is, I'm really still, I like this a lot. Looking into here, having your chip damage for Cyclizar, your early damage here, making it quick, making it fast, and then using that time to build up your Meowscarada here feels really, really strong as well too. So let me know, y'all, what decks are you running for ranked? Is it something that is new, or is it something that you just like feel really comfortable with from like previous metas and previous sets that we've played before? Let me know. I'm excited to see how this goes for you all, and we'll continue to keep y'all updated on where we are for our rank as well too. All right, y'all, until the next one, peace.